Mortal Kombat is one of my favorite video game series of all time. It was a series that clearly redefined fighting games for mature audiences. Normally, Street Fighter 2 kept it clean with light blood spray, a little puke depending on the version you're playing, and bruised faces within each panel after a match. In Mortal Kombat, you could flat out murder your opponent. Which was part of the game's appeal, alongside the wacky Game of Death style tournament. Most of the characters range from your run-of-the-mill palette swap ninja to giant ogres with 4 arms. Jesus, this cast is more believable than 50 Cent the rapper taking out terrorists in fucking Afghanistan legitimately. Anyway, fast forward to Mortal Kombat 9. Mortal Kombat 2011, or if you prefer to call it Mortal Kombat if you're being thorough, because I really hate that trope where a game developer reboots a game with no subtitle, with no updated numerical, and automatically is confused with the first entry of the series. Great job. Anyway, Mortal Kombat 2011 was a return to form for the Mortal Kombat franchise. I was overjoyed when I heard MK was coming back to a more traditional fighting style with the camera, more traditional roots, especially after Armageddon left a sour taste that tasted like AIDS on my tongue. Then again, that's also comparable to the gigantic, convoluted mess that this story creates by trying to retcon the first 3 Mortal Kombat entries. Unfortunately, this timeline opens up a lot of unanswered questions, especially the dumb scenarios that are created, like Cassie Cage being able to defeat a transformed fallen elder god due to the power of love, or Raiden himself frying Liu Kang, the champion of Mortal Kombat, due to a complete misunderstanding. Oh, Raiden, you idiot. You idiot! That's not the biggest offense I've seen between this whole Ed Boon and Warner Brothers collaboration, where they steadily sleep with each other and they create the Make a Baby Foundation, pumping out hood rat children like Mortal Kombat and Injustice. Oh no, we're not here to talk about Mortal Kombat X or the ending of Mortal Kombat 9 in particular. We're here to talk about the queen bitch, who probably listens to every video she makes in Sony Vegas at max decibels. We're here to talk about the one, the only, Black Canary. Oh wait, I thought I said I wasn't going to talk about Injustice. My bad. We're here to talk about the actual Queen Sindel. Queen Sindel and her bringing up the most disappointing moment in the entirety of Mortal Kombat 2011 when she single-handedly killed Jax, Cabal, Striker, Jade, Smoke, Cyber Sub-Zero, Katana, and John Marston via assisted suicide. Hell, you could even say that Shang Tsung was sacrificed for this one scene in particular when Sindel murdered half of the Mortal Kombat cast. Seriously, what the fuck? What in the actual fuck NetherRealm? Holy hell, this scene was hard to process back in 2011, and it's hard to process now, but even though I understand that Sindel was pumped to the brim with Harry Potter wizardroids, this still was ridiculous. Ed Boon somehow thought this was a fantastic idea to not only murder half the Mortal Kombat cast, but to do it in asinine ways. I mean, just look at that! Cyber Sub-Zero died from a basic 3-hit combo that any fucking scrub online can mash out. If we get into the context of this scene, it made me feel like they had to put the final nail in the coffin to make Liu Kang and Raiden's relationship strained. The trip to the Elder Gods at that just proved to be worthless, inconvenient, and it proved that Raiden's prophetic vision really meant nothing towards the rules of Mortal Kombat until actual invasion at the end of the game. I think sometime later on we see all the deceased characters who were in that giant chamber that fought Sindel show up again as revenants, undead minions who serve Quan Chi's will. It gets even more ridiculous when you move on to MKX and you find out that the undead revenant Sub-Zero is back in his revenant body, so he manages to undo the cyber initiative, and there's fight dialogue that mentions that he can just do that and take his form whenever he pleases. He can turn back being human at will when he was killed as a robot. So I guess that people can do that in this universe now, which makes no sense. Ultimately, I think the Sindel scene was just created for lame shock value at its finest, and I think this scene would have worked better if only 2 major characters were sacrificed as opposed to half the roster. It would have made the Revenant storyline less of a headache to explain in MKX, and it would have created less continuation errors between MKX and MK9 like the one I mentioned with Sub-Zero. Ultimately, this spawned the kids of Mortal Kombat to take the mantle, breathe new life into the series, even though only one of these characters were interesting, and that was Takeda. And even Takeda doesn't have the most interesting backstory. Really, Takeda and Freddy Krueger, they share a trait. They both like dark meat.
Freddy!
How sweet. Dark meat.
And I guess on Takeda's own merit, he has bullshit daddy issues with Kenshi. Fantastic. I wish the writers at NetherRealm really would understand that going bigger and going bolder really isn't the best in every situation. I do prefer my MK lore to be intricate, but understanding and with impact. It's like they took a random thematic bit from TV tropes and passed it off to their writing staff for Mortal Kombat 9. Liu Kang's trust would have been compromised regardless if Katana was one of the focal fighters who died during that entire skirmish as opposed to everyone else. It still would show that Raiden's incompetence managed to get his new girlfriend annihilated, and no, we're not bringing up that crappy MK movie. Leave that one in the dust.
Mother. You're alive. Too bad you will die.
This is Renegade Operative signing off, and I believe that Sindel killing off half of the Mortal Kombat cast in Mortal Kombat 9 was one of the worst aspects of that entire story mode. I will see you guys next time for the next video, and once again, take care.